Well, this bucket's really full.
Just because she's different doesn't mean you pull a plug.
Okay, so today is the first day I'm going to be evaporating sap. Collected sap yesterday. I got about 35 gallons so far. Out of our 16, 17 trees that are tapped. I only put single taps in this year, now regardless of the size of the tree, just because that's what I did. So a couple of years ago, I basically made a barrel stove and, in a nutshell, cut a giant hole in the top. And so what we have here is my barrel stove with a hole in the top and 2 hotel pans. These are 6-inch deep stainless steel hotel pans or chafing dishes. You can buy them online. I'll put a link down below for them if you want. And then the barrel stove basically is a barrel stove kit. This particular one I think I bought at Tractor Supply. Got myself a barrel, and this was an old paint barrel, unfortunately. And the paint barrel works fine, but I did have to burn out all the excess paint and everything, and at this point it's been used for a couple of years and it's fine. We had some old stovepipe, so I stuck some stovepipe on top and, you know, had an angle, a right angle on there, 45. So that basically creates a little bit of a draft. I will admit that I think a lot of the air or the draft is lost simply because of the big holes in the bottom. No, no. Leave it. Good girl. Good girl, Josie. I guess that's probably not the best place to be playing now, is it? So I gotta go down to one of the new sheds to grab a potable water hose that we have, because I'm not going to use a different hose to get the sap out of our barrel. So this is our 65-gallon water tub that we use to haul water up to the animals. You know, there was 2 inches of snow on the ground yesterday and it was melted, that we got overnight a couple of days ago, and that's all melted, completely melted. It was, you know, high 40s yesterday. It's above 50 already, so it was pretty warm. And that generally says that, you know, the sap's going to not run as well. But I checked 3 buckets today and they're well over half full. So I'm going to have another 15-20 gallons to collect today. Might have more. You know, the most I'm probably going to get ever is going to be, you know, 30 gallons in a day, which is still a lot for me. You know, everything is really, as we've mentioned, small batch around here. We don't do anything in large quantities because not only can't we do large quantities, we don't want to. I got a bucket, and this bucket is half full. So we've got a 5-gallon bucket. I emptied this yesterday around 2:30, 3 o'clock. And it's, we have some hoses back here. And this is the hose I need, my blue hose. Anyway, back up the hill to hook up the hose and grab some more sap. Starting to steam. The pan in the back is the one that will ultimately be sap, or syrup, I'm sorry. The one in the front is my preheating pan. So as the sap starts to boil, you get some foam on the top, and I always skim that off because it has a tendency to burn. And if you were making a stock, you would always skim the scum off the top, because those are basically solidified proteins. Now, I'm no chemist, but that's basically how I see it. Skim off some of this foam. And you know, it's a little early. You'll see this edge over here has a tendency to cook the fastest. We are cooking over open flame, and so we do have a tendency to get little pieces of ash might fall in here. So I just have a fine strainer. This is not like a super fine strainer like a chinois would be, but it is a strainer, and I just run this through on a regular basis to see if I can find or get any little pieces out of here. This is the fastest I like my sap to boil at, which is again what we do is we take the warm sap from here and add it into that other pan as that one reduces down. So both pans will reduce down, but the one in the back is going to reduce down much faster. Alright, well, time to go collect sap. And just got to head, do a big loop here. Something like yesterday, but try to be a little more efficient today. Just got to come up here and pick up Margaret. So we need to go check the black maple. So. All right. We'll either have some or we're going to pull that tap.
That bucket, that lid, it's making a mess. I'm really sorry, there's some waste pouring.
But yeah, if you well, this bucket's really full. Yeah. Oops, you want to carry that and then. Welcome to West Virginia. Nope, not yet. Oh, the one right there by the tree I did, but not the next one. One more where that branch fell.
Does it?
What was that?
That's my favorite shot. Oh. Right here. Wow, what's going on for the black walnut?
Yep, well, I think I'm going to pull it.
Wow.
Because I don't think that's worth, I mean, we aren't going to, you know, if sap was going to run, it would have been running.
Yeah, it's just a bummer.
Yep.
Wow, it's, oh, poor tree. You're a good tree, you make good black walnuts. How many days has it been?
Same amount of days as all the other trees. That's all we've gotten.
Just because she's different doesn't mean you pull a plug. Well, you really want this bucket?
Well, I could tap a different maple. I evaporated about 25 gallons yesterday out of the evaporator, which you guys saw me start. And the problem is, it just seems like I need an awful lot of heat to get a very small amount of oil. Simply because, or I'm pretty sure it's because, where my firebox is, which is down here, so where the heat is much lower than the top of the pan. So I've got about a foot of distance here. And then the other issue is with my pan sitting on this, they actually sit, which I'll show you a photo of, they actually sit so that the sides are not getting a lot of heat. Only the bottom's getting heat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually come in here and I'm going to cut this down a little lower so my pan can sit inside. I'm going to bend this back up and out so that it will rest on the lip of the pan here. So then my pan will then be able to sit down inside and not be as high up. And you can see the pan has a slight angle to it, so it'll be able to go inside here. So assuming the rain doesn't start heavy, I'm going to let the camera run and you can see how this is going to work. We're making progress and smoke, as you can see. So I got the fire going, and it's been on for maybe half an hour at the most. This fire always is not the most fun thing to get going. What we've got now is steam. And steam. So this doesn't take too long to fill a bucket, but it's not, zippity fast. Another lesson I just learned, which I did not have this problem from before, and you got to keep these pans, full, for lack of a better term. I mean, you got to keep liquid in them. And what was happening is this has gotten so hot that the backside of this front pan was starting to warp because there's a lot of heat coming between those two. So dumping, obviously, liquid in there helps. I'm going to close this door a little bit more. I did just to add some more wood, and that'll control the heat a little bit better. But I'm pretty pleased. I'm glad I made that change, and I think we're going to be able to evaporate more efficiently. One of the things that I find to be quite different about the syrup that we make, and there's other producers who make it like I do, don't get me wrong, is that when you start boiling it, and if you're boiling hundreds and thousands of gallons of sap into a single batch, simply by caramelizing it, so in other words, you're just reducing it down, you end up with a very caramelly flavored syrup. And some people like that. Some people enjoy their caramel flavored syrup. I, on the other hand, don't enjoy that. I like to have the flavors of the maple syrup still in the syrup itself. And last year I wrote a lot of tasting notes, which I will put a link to in the description down below. So if you click on that link, you'll be able to see the tasting notes from the 2019 batch. Important. So I never let it just continually cook. So right now I'm working with, we got about 30 gallons that we started with here. I have another 30 gallons in the tank. Once this cooks down more, obviously, then we're going to take a refractometer to it, and we will then see where we're at. But I usually pull it off around, 50 bricks or so, and then we're going to take it down to 60 bricks or up to 67 bricks approximately. We'll see how the flavor is before we bottle it. So I don't do this by temperature. I let it boil away. Some producers are going to pull off at a certain temperature. That temperature is 7 degrees above boiling at your elevation. So you got to be mindful of the fact that, we're at 2,600 feet. Water boils at a different temperature than it does at sea level, and you must factor that into the whole process. I think that's less accurate, truth be told. It makes fine syrups, but that is not how we like to do it here at Pill Run. So hope you enjoy, and thanks for watching.